Take off the fake deep, take off the fake woke, take off the I'm broke, I care.
Take it off.
Take off the gossip, take off the new logic, then if I'm rich, I'm real.
Take it off.
Take off the sugar mill, take off the doje, take off.
Hello guys, my name is Dwight Knight Delight. I'll be taking over from here on out. So you see, my brother's been busy. Call me back at 854-329. Alright, let's get to it. We pocket watching over here.
Joe Biden is once again taking a government paycheck. That's not stopping him from continuing to add millions to his fortune. Hi everybody, I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is my colleague, Forbes staff writer, Zach Everson. Zach, thanks so much for coming on today.
Of course, thanks for having
Damn, that's crazy.
me again, Brittany.
You wrote about the finances of President Joe Biden. First of all, point blank, how much is the president worth?
Biden is worth an estimated $10 million, which is $2 million more than what we valued him at when he started the presidency.
$2 million over the course of a few years while you're president, that's a lot of
Ain't that like a 20% gain? What the hell has man been YOLOing?
money, so why the increase there?
It is entirely due to real estate. The values of he has two homes that are in Delaware, and the real estate prices have spiked. And actually, the real estate prices have gone up. The values of those homes, rather, have gone up more than $2 million. So they kind of offset some other losses that he's had over the time of his administration.
Can you tell us a little bit more about these properties? When did he purchase them? How they increased? Things like that.
Yeah, we want all of that. We want all of that.
Well, he has the Rehoboth Beach House, which is a relatively recent property. He picked that one up after he left, after Obama, and it is valued at about $4.5 million.
Damn.
It's right near a state park with some fabulous places to bike. If you've seen pictures of him biking when he's off in Delaware, it's possibly there. And it's just a 7-minute walk from the beach. So we've really seen the value of that one has gone up a lot, especially due to the pandemic. You know, when all of a sudden people were seeking larger homes, places that were accessible to the outdoors. They put a pool in as well at one point. So, you know, if you're looking for a place with a lot of good outdoor living space, that Rehoboth House would be it.
As we all know,
Not for no 4.5 million.
President Joe Biden is a career politician. His career in the Senate spanned over 30 years. He's famously known as Middle Class Joe. Now he's worth $10 million. So can you walk us through how he made all this money aside from that real estate?
It was the same way that most politicians make the money when they're not politicians. For him, it came when he left, when he ended the vice presidency. He went out and made $11.1 million that first year.
Wait a minute. Hold up. The math ain't mathing. So he's worth 10 million. What type of losses this man took?
And overall, while he was not in government service, he made $17.3 million.
So 11 million plus 17 million, but he's only worth 10 million. Okay.
Which, you know, dwarfed what he would make as an annual salary as either senator or president even.
Was Joe Biden wealthy before he started his career in politics in the 1970s?
No, Joe Biden came into politics at a very young age. The way he kept himself afloat for a long time was borrowing money. He would buy houses and then he would just keep refinancing them and use the money to, you know, either improve it or just for his regular lifestyle. I mean, he's had some very nice homes over the years, but he has been a career government employee, and he does not come from any sort of inherited wealth either.
Okay.
Zach, I do want to read a piece of your reporting, and then if you could further break it down for us. Never much of a stock investor, Biden has plenty of cash on hand. Today, he and First Lady Jill Biden have less than $310,000 invested in the market, all held in mutual funds. Much more is simply sitting in bank accounts. Is this normal activity for someone with so much wealth to not have that many investments and the majority of your money just sitting in the bank?
You know, I'm going back to my first job out of college here, where I worked at a brokerage firm, and somebody at his age, it's not that surprising. You know, if you're an octogenarian, you wouldn't want to have a lot of your money.
Like when you're towards the end of your life, like towards the end of your life is the time to start selling all your. Actually, I lied. Well, it depends. Start selling your assets so you can reap your benefits, like get the cash to go on vacation or something. Or you could transfer it over to your kids, but forget them kids.
Money tied up into assets that could fluctuate, if all of a sudden you're going to need it. So it's not too surprising to find somebody of his age having that much cash in there.
And can you tell us a little bit more about his investments? What is he invested in?
It's just a
These nuts.
range of mutual funds, some index funds. They're all held in an annuity. Not a lot in any particular one. They don't seem to be growing all that much compared to previous years when we looked at his past disclosures.
And when you're looking back at past presidents and vice presidents, how does his wealth stack up?
Well, compared to the last guy, it's paltry. Obviously we have Donald Trump valued at an estimated $2.5 billion, and we're going to have a new estimate for him coming out shortly. But it's very much middle class right there. He's doing better than some of the previous ones, obviously like Jimmy Carter. But
They call it 10 million middle class. Damn.
it's also tough to compare because we'd have to go back and deal with inflation as well over that period. But compared to the other candidates, he's middle class Joe is in the middle of the pack. It looks like. We've published our results. We're looking into the net worths of all of the major candidates out there.
All right, so correction. I think they're talking about presidents in general. He's middle class compared to other presidents. That makes more sense.
We've published the results of some of them. He's obviously way behind Trump. We haven't published Vivek Ramaswamy or Doug Burgum yet, but he's most likely going to be behind them. RFK Jr. is worth $15 million, which he is boosted by family wealth and his wife. Nikki Haley's $8 million, so just a little bit behind Biden, and she's obviously a lot younger. She had a similar approach. When she stepped out of Trump's administration, she cashed in big time. And then we've got Francis Suarez in Miami, who's at $6 million.
If $10 million net worth is considered middle class, I want to be that definition of middle class. But did anything, when you were looking at his finances, his net worth, did anything surprise you, stick out to you?
That's a great question. It was just his repeatedly going back to refinancing his homes. He certainly did that quite a lot. I was also surprised that he took out a loan. I think it was just last year. He took out
That boy was using his houses like a bank. That's crazy.
a home equity loan that allows
And smart.
him to borrow up to $250,000 against one of his houses. I was surprised to see that happen, while he was in the White House.
You did report that he repeatedly refinanced his homes. Can you explain why?
Obviously, if interest rates improve, it's a great way to save yourself some money. But it also allows you to borrow equity against the house, and that's certainly something he's thought about. Where Biden was talking about selling his Wilmington house to afford to pay for one of his son's medical bills. And Obama said, "Okay, I'll help you out with that if that's the problem." But so Biden's mindset is that house is like a piggy bank, and he can keep tapping into it.
Just like I said.
So all sorts of living expenses could be paid for that as well. But we don't know exactly what he used that money for.
And he does have one asset, though, that he says he refuses to sell. What is it?
That would be his 1967 Corvette, which is I'm not much of a car guy, but it is a beautiful car. It was a wedding gift from his dad for his first wedding, and I think his dad paid about $5,700 for it. Didn't have much money, but his dad worked at a Chevrolet dealer, and it is now worth about $100,000, which is a decent investment. But if they had just put the $5,700 in the stock market back in '67, they would have made more money on it. But stock certificates aren't nearly as fun to drive on Delaware roads as a '67 Corvette is.
Zach Everson, thank you for your reporting.
My pleasure.
Anyways, there you have it. Pocket watching Biden. Like, comment, suscribo. Gracias, por favor.